Live. All right, we'd like to open this meeting today, Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. Janice, if you would please do roll call.
Councilmember Atlan.
Here.
Councilmember Mitchell.
Here.
Vice Mayor Rhodes.
Here.
And Mayor Mayor.
Here. Okay,
Councilmember LaFane out tonight? I haven't heard anything, have you?
so before we go into session,
Before we go into closed session, if I could have a motion to remove item 3 from closed session. I've been in touch with our risk management authority and have some further direction and no council action needed at this time for that item.
I'll make a motion to remove item 3 from closed session.
Second.
first and second, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Oppose? No? Ayes have it, okay. So, I believe what we do now is open up for public comment, correct?
Yes, if any on closed session items. Yeah.
On closed session items, yes. Do we have any public comment on the closed session items? I guess not. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and convene to closed session. You're right. Good evening. Once again, we're reconvening from open session. Would you please join me with a pledge of allegiance? Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You got to report out the closed session. Report out the closed session.
Okay, I'd like to report out of closed session, Josh.
No report, information given, information received, direction given.
Okay. We'd like to make a motion to someone like to make a motion to approve the agenda.
Make a motion, we approve the agenda.
Second.
First and second, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, oppose? Ayes have it. I'd like to turn this over now to Mr. Councilman Mitchell.
Janice is first. She's gonna.
Oh, Janice, I'm sorry. Yes, Janice, I apologize. I'll get there, guys. Give me a little time.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight we have a certificate appreciation award for Doug Knudsen, who is the owner of the Ione Plaza Market, who supported the city in the Ione Food Drive for 2025. So Doug, can you come up? This is for you.
All right, well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. I do have to tell you, as a businessman, what you did was of benefit to my store. And we love participating. A little show and tell what actually happened, and then I'll leave you all alone. Is we created 102 of these vouchers for $50 each. The extra two were because I decided it was such a good idea. I'd join it myself and throw in a couple extra vouchers for the Thanksgiving Day that you guys came up with. Okay. And as of this time, we've had 101 issued. We've had 93 come back. I've still got 9 people out there have not taken advantage of their $50 Giving Day voucher. We're still waiting for that. Jack's putting out the word and so forth. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for giving me the additional business, and at the same time, allowing me to participate in a really good idea. So I'll accept your award, but you guys deserve the credit, not me.
Thank you.
I just want to real quick say, I disagree with you. You deserve a ton of credit. This plan came together very quickly, and we weren't sure how we were going to put it together. The accounting, the tracking, printing off vouchers, finding a place to house us for the day. And then on top of that, and you don't talk about it, the number of people that come in that you help out and went above and beyond really moved me. And there's a lot of people that were involved in this: Rotary, Ione Fire, the parent teacher group, the Ione City. But you, sir, and that staff over there really went above and beyond. And it was amazing, not to mention the fact that you quite often are hit up for numerous events at Evelyn Bishop and are providing food at cost or making donations, raffle prizes and that. And a lot of times it just goes unnoticed. So I am very thrilled that you're up in front and center for you. And please pass on to your staff at Ione Plaza Market the thanks from the city of Ione.
Well, thanks. Again, I appreciate the fact that there's some appreciation shown towards my business. I just want to point out again, what you did is a benefit to me. And I was very happy to participate in it myself in the way of issuing 2 additional vouchers. Now, if we get all those vouchers back and clear the books, all of this is very easy to give you a final accounting for, but without those 9 additional or missing vouchers out there, we got missing pieces. But once they're in, I want to present you guys with a very nice accounting of the whole thing. all the money that you gave to me all went into an account called City of Ione. And then from that, money was extracted to pay for these.
Great job.
Again, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. Well said, Jack. So thank you, Janice. I'll remember that next time. I guess we're going to move on, open up for public comment.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Patricia Angija. As many of you know, I am with Amador's Heart of Gold. Unfortunately, I have some very sad news that brings me here this evening. Probably as many of you know, on Wednesday evening, we lost 13-year-old Logan Wilkerson. He was battling DMG childhood cancer. And I have seen all of the, yellow ribbons all around town in the schools, and the family is so very grateful for all of the support from everyone in town. And that just goes to show our wonderful town spirit. And I'm just here to ask, if you haven't already, if you are able to, please don't feel obligated. If you would be able to donate anything you can to their family. They still have lots of final medical expenses, and then they do want to have a memorial for him. He is leaving his legacy and donating his cells to Stanford so that they can do further studies to hopefully put an end to childhood cancer. That's our ultimate goal. You can find the information for his donation website at our Facebook page at Amador's Heart of Gold, as well as I think our Instagram page. You can also just email us as well if you run into any problems, but just try to keep them in your thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. Anyone else for public comment?
So I wanted to hand this out, I guess, sort of like Sully does, I guess. I finally got the response back on that 10-day deal. So I wanted to give you guys copies of what I actually got back. Talk about it. So it goes back to that $11,000 real estate transaction. I requested it on November 17th. It got delayed till December. Then I finally got it back on January 9th. But if you guys look at this, it was $11,760. It came back from the city attorney with, as you look at the different pages, it's basically 30 hours of attorney time that everything's been redacted in here except for 6.8 hours. So this is not what I requested. I asked to see why, when we're talking to a law firm and they're billing us over 30 hours, I'm just trying to show you guys too, because they have copies up there, but all this stuff is blacked out. I didn't get it from the city manager or the finance manager, which I thought I would. I got it directly from Josh. So apparently that firm not only gets to bill us, but they get to decide on a paid bill what the public gets to see on a 30+ hour billing for a real estate transaction. That's why I was asking the question, because to me, it seemed like 3 or 4 hours would be plenty to see if the document's legal or not. You can see multiple pages. There's 7 pages in here, and almost 6 of them are blacked out entirely. So there's only 6.8. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because these warrants come up before you guys, and I think you trust that somebody's looking at these things. Stacy tried to make the effort on text message and email to get this bill under control. When I see stuff like this, I'm worried that when you guys get these warrants, you're just paying them and nobody's looking at the detail. I'm sure somebody here could actually look at the detail, or maybe one of you guys could assign somebody to it to look at it before you do these warrants, because we're, I think, almost 500,000 to this law firm for last year alone. The other thing that I looked at, I got a minute 40 left, so I'm going to try to speed this up. The other thing that I looked at is apparently we're going after Allison for roughly $22,000. This same law firm has already billed you guys $21,552 on a $22,000 lawsuit. So I think the biggest expenditure that I see that we need to get under control is actually make them accountable for every 15 minutes or whatever, and get somebody to look at these documents before you approve these warrants, because it's not getting under control. And even after the text message stuff, it's still out of control. And the very person I get a response from is the guy that's billing the city. I would have thought maybe George, or I should say city manager or finance manager. I would have got the response from them, hey, here's what it is. We've already paid the bill. It should be public knowledge at that point. Should be open to anybody because we paid that bill. This isn't something that's out in flux. It's been done. But instead of 10 days, it took me almost 2 months to just get this. And when I got it, there was nothing I asked for in there. It's all redacted. It's blacked out. It's like, this isn't the Kennedy assassination or anything like that. I don't know why we have to black out something to a city that's just paid that law firm for that money. And why is the person that's billing you the one that gets to decide what the public gets to see or not get to see? So my suggestion, again, like I said before, I would try to hire an actual city attorney so you could keep this thing under 200,000 a year and know that that person reports to you. And if somebody wants to see it, he's here maybe 2-3 days a week or whatever, but you can walk in and see it without somebody taking 2 months to get you the information. And then you find out it's all blacked out. Thank you.
Hey,
Mayor, I'm
more
hap-
public-
I'm
yes.
happy to provide some remarks.
I'd like that. Yes, go on, please.
You just said that in the thing last time. You can't remark back.
If the chair, if the chair recognizes.
I recognize
Councilmember
Mr. Vrinsky, and I can do that.
Mr. Johnson, there's a couple of topics to address, and I can save some remarks for city attorney comments, but on one of them is the real estate bill that you're speaking of. So out of sensitivity of those negotiations in respect to the seller, not a lot of information has been shared up to this point, but I'm happy to provide some explanation. Previously, I said after that council approval of the contract, there were further negotiations. Eventually, it resulted in a savings of about $900,000 to the city between the deal that the council originally approved to what was ultimately recorded on title. Without getting too detailed, by the time we started doing due diligence and going into title, the deal became more complicated than we first envisioned. There were multiple deeds of trust on the property, different notes. We were trying to make it work, trying to make the transaction keep clear title. And so there were documents prepared, there were negotiations, there was research done. And by the end of that, that was a bigger expense because once we dug into title, there were unforeseen things that we wanted to preserve the deal and make sure the city got this property. So there was more time. Ultimately, it resulted in a big savings to the city, and it did cost some money. But sometimes, if you think about it that way, that it does show some skill, I would say, even on the city manager to know when to pull in legal to try to help with a deal and keep it on track because it ultimately resulted in a big savings to the city. So I acknowledge it was a big expense. There was work done after that original council approval, and that's the bill you see. So I hope that provides some clarity on why that transaction was not just review of the purchase agreement and a closing statement. There was more work done in between. I have further comments to further explain the Public Records Act and why that involved more time. I'm happy to save that to the end of the meeting or provide remarks
I
now.
think might as well just do it now, Josh.
So I've sensed some confusion from the public and even council members or former council members on how the Public Records Act works and what that 10-day requirement means. When you submit a formal public records request, you're going to get an initial response from the city within 10 days that we believe we have records in our possession. We're going to give you an estimated date of when you can expect those records. So the statute does not require the city to produce all records that you've requested within those 10 days. And the Public Records Act is, sometimes I sense that it's being treated as maybe a casual request, but it's actually a serious statute where the city has statutory obligations to comply with, timelines, specific content to include in each response. And if we don't follow the law, we could be liable for a lawsuit or attorney fees even if we did something wrong. So when you file a public records request, there's also a lot of exemptions that might apply. So your request was for detailed city attorney invoices. What you're going to get is we have to go spend time reviewing those invoices as we're city attorney. So our invoices are records of the city. we have to go spend time reviewing each of those entries, redacting what's privileged and what's not. And so anytime, I mean, just to be honest, anytime you request city attorney invoices, it's going to have a lot of redactions because most of that information is privileged. So we have an obligation to provide the records and redact privileged information because that's not public. So, but when you make a public records request, it's good to it's your right to request those records, but my office and legal reviews each and every public records response to make sure we're not disclosing privileged information, confidential information, personnel information. So it is not always a simple ask it and we give it to you right away. We have to review it. We have to make sure we're not giving we have to make sure we're not giving resident or taxpayer information away. So there's always a review process. Some things are going to be redacted, especially the sensitive documents if you request those. So I just want to set some expectations that it's not a 10-day requirement where you're going to get everything and it's an easy response. We have legal obligations that we have to comply with. So sometimes it might help to actually, before you formally submit your request, because once you submit it, we're on the clock of how to respond and how to review records. And maybe ask the city clerk this is what I'm looking, how much legal time is this going to involve? I want to make sure I provide a request that doesn't involve a lot of legal time reviewing. That's one way to do it, and the city can work with you to fashion a public records request that minimizes the amount of time my office can spend. But I really want to clarify this 10-day requirement for everybody, because if that were the rule, all city departments would be busy with PRAs all day responding within 10 days, and we wouldn't be able to tend to the daily matters of the city. So I'm happy to talk about the Public Records Act more and what it requires of us, but it is, once we receive one, it's taken very seriously because we also have to make sure confidential information isn't out there that we're not allowed to give.
One response. I requested on 11/17. I got notified on 11/24 that I would get this document on 12/12. Did not hear from the city again until January 2nd that I would get it on January 9th. So
Okay, I think you both have made your points, so we're going to move on. Okay.
see. Get up to the podium.
Yes, I'd like to know who pays for this. Us citizens pay for all this. And I remember last month last year was $44,000 and one councilman called him 108 times. And I believe the other one's 53 times. I might be wrong on that. And one of them was probably trying to protect himself against McGraw's lawsuit. So I just don't understand why this man can stand it, but who pays for this? The city pays for all that information. So that goes on the hours. So you wonder where they spend the money.
That's decided by the city manager, not.
Okay, let's move on. No comment. We're gonna stick right on schedule, folks. We're not gonna have any debate. This time we were allowing you to say your statement because we want to get past this, and we wanted him to be able to say what he had to say. And so let's move on tonight. Any more public comment? Okay, it looks like we'll close public comment. All right. Information items. No action on the information items. This is for information only. No action to be taken by the city council, building department, fire department, police department, public works, and wastewater treatment plant reports. Okay, let's move on to the consent calendar. Do we have any motions to make on the consent calendar or anything we want to do?
To pull number 2, please.
I'm gonna pull number 2, the warrants.
Move to approve number 1.
Got a motion on number 1 to approve.
Second.
First and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No opposed. Before we move on to, well, I'll mention this later because I'm gonna do starting next meeting, I'm going to do a difference when it comes to the vote. I'll explain that later. Okay, let's go ahead and pull the warrants.
A couple of things real quick. Page 1 of the unpaid invoice report. There's a $1,900 irrigation bill for Castle Oaks entrance. I thought everything was supposed to be shut off. And then,
Which one is that?
page 1, it was the irrigation bill. Page,
I'd like to make a comment at the one, after this is done, that we had a discussion with somebody.
page number 9, you got, interest on WW compliance. Is that a loan? The LO missing there, 23,000 almost to the US Bank. That what that is. So just had a question on that. And then we go to White Brenner. So we got $29,200 in attorney fees for one attorney company. There's another one in here for some other wastewater stuff. But so since we had that, no emails, no contact with the city attorney, which I said was not going to fix the problem, we have now spent to this one law firm $109,000 in 3 months. So we need to do something about it. And we can't continue to pay about 35,000 a month for attorney bills because we're already over budget by 50,000 and we have 5 more months of the year to go, or 6 months of the year to go. So I'd like a better plan than the one that we had in November to address this. And that's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Andrea, would you like to address any of this, please? I'd like to make one comment. Maybe it'll be controversial, but when it comes to the LaFane legal fees, if this bill would have been paid a long time ago, we wouldn't have these legal fees. And as a city official, we can't give favoritism.
So as for item number 1, the Castle Oaks entrance, they had gone out on our last bill. We had asked them, Public Works, to go out and make sure the water was off because there was nothing going on out there and it was wintertime and they were waiting before Simmons came in. The water was off, but now when we received this bill, that was our trigger again. It's like something's going on. Please, we did a service call to AWA to find out if there was a leak. So if you guys, this is going to sound familiar, the wall over on the commercial side was leaking. Now, I think what's happening, it's now just leaking one spot farther down because that whole line, which goes quite a ways down the back side of that wall. So they've turned it off completely to even get to that line so it can't leak. So as of now, it's been turned off and they're working on the line. That's the status. As far as the interest, that's something you guys pay every year. You have a loan payment and an interest payment, and you pay one, 2 different times a year. So that's your interest payment. And lawyer bills.
Are the bills.
Yeah, and our budget is 230, not
Okay.
200,
Great.
as I had heard someone mention before.
Well, great. We're only 20,000 over budget with 6 months to go. Feel so much better now.
Regarding the AWA, also there has been contact with AWA regarding that, and they're sending out the professionals to see what's going on. We had a discussion with this. Andrea actually brought it up about the ball moving, so I just want you to be aware that we are on top of that. So, anybody else on the warrants? Nope. So do we have a motion here?
From public comment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, of course. Open to public comment. I'm glad I got my backup. Public comment, please. Okay, I see we have no public comment then. So we'll go ahead and entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to pay the warrants. Second.
Yeah, first and second, all those in favor, say
Aye.
aye. Aye. Oppose?
No.
We have 3 for and 1 against. Okay, we'll move on to the next part of the meeting here. Let me get back to it. We do not have any public hearings tonight. We'll go to the regular agenda. I'm going to say this tonight, and starting next meeting, I'm going to change things up a little bit when it comes to the vote. That's why we make sure that everybody gets their time to speak before and then also after public hearing. So I'm going to ask each council member individually. I'll start with Council Member LaFane and go to Dominic, Mr. Atlan, and this way to do their speaking, and then me. And then also when ask for a vote, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to ask, instead of saying aye or no, I'm going to ask each one individually. I want to do it similar to how they do it with the school board. I think it's clear, but we can understand it more. And then I also will make sure that I don't make a mistake and miss somebody getting able to speak.
Except for then I'm always the last one to vote. Just kidding.
That's why that needs to be mixed up. So if you're gonna do that, you gotta start at a different place. Otherwise, it's always gonna be.
You can do it
Mayor, it's fine.
I'll talk with Josh. Josh will explain to me how to do it, and
Kidding.
but I think it'll be more clear. And then that way I don't impinge on anybody's right or make a mistake and forget somebody. So I'm hoping that this is a positive. Intend it to be. Okay, regular agenda. We have the city council committee assignments for 2026. Well, I'm the one that
Read them off, basically.
yeah. Let me get them here in front of me. Okay. All right, on the city council committee assignments for 2026, and right now, the ACTC and ARTC is currently not represented for 2026, but there is an oversight committee on ACTC, and the way I have it now is it's not here on this. It was Jack Mitchell, and then myself, and then and the meeting dates were as needed. And Mr. Mitchell, it affects his day job quite substantially. So I wanted to go ahead and change that and put myself in at that. I'm the only one without a day job. And I put Stacy in there as the alternate for that. That's what I have for that. So, you have any issues with this one,
Good with me.
Fine with me.
Mr. Outland?
Yeah, they're all good.
Okay, and then the Amarillo Council of Tourism ACT, I just left it the same. It's second Thursday of every month. Myself as a representative with Stacy Rhodes as alternate. Amador Air District left it the same. Rhodes representative, Mitchell alternate, and that's as needed. Amador County Waste Management, I have Representative LaFane, and alternate council member Atlan, and that's as needed. But I do know that they both have day jobs, so I don't know how that will work. On the on the Amador County Economic Development Corporation, I have that just the opposite. I have Councilman Atlan and as a representative and council person LaFame, and that's also as needed on a meeting date. ARSA, last year it was Jack Mitchell was a rep and Stacy Rose was the alternate. I went ahead and changed that, put council member Rhodes and as the representative this year, and alternate would be Mr. Mitchell. That's the fourth Wednesday at 10 a.m. Disaster Council, I took the police, I added the fire chief and the police chief to that on this one. Amador Fire Protection District, representative would be Jack Mitchell and alternate would be Rhodes. That one does have a scheduled meeting third Thursday every other month but as needed. League of California Cities, I put myself as a rep and Stacy Rhodes as the alternate. There's an annual meeting for that. Mayors and Executive Forum, I put myself as a representative and Mr. Mitchell as the alternate, and that's as needed. Mule Creek Advisory Committee, I left it the same. Last year we had one meeting, one meeting with them. I'm going to work diligently to get that changed. It was the representatives were myself and Vice Mayor Rhodes, and the alternate was the police chief. Parks and Rec Commission, I had to resign from that because my daughter is currently on it, and Councilmember Mitchell took the representative, and the alternate will be Councilman Stacy Rhodes, and that's the fourth Tuesday at 6 p.m. as always. Public Safety Committee, I have a representative, Vice Mayor Rhodes, alternate council member Mitchell, and that's as needed. Finance Manager will be the NCC SIF. I have no idea what that acronym even stands for. but the finance manager has that. Creek Committee is staying the same. That'll be Representative Vice Mayor Rhodes and Council Member Mitchell. And as far as LAFCO goes, the city for 2026 is not represented. I will be attending the meetings on occasion as just for updates and to be able to know what's going on. So that's what I have for city council committee assignments. So if everybody would like to discuss it, Mr. Councilman Atlan would like to start.
Well, very good. Thank you.
Great. I'm good.
Well, just kidding. I'm good.
Okay. So I guess we need, I believe we need to go to public comment on this, correct? So we have public comment? I guess we do not have any public comment on this tonight. So can we entertain a motion on this, please?
Make a move to accept the city council committee assignments for 2026.
I'll second.
First and a second, all in favor, say
Aye.
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 Oppose? Ayes have it. Okay, so how about reports and communications from our city attorney?
I got one. Last week I was thankful to be invited to the planning commission meeting. There's an ongoing discussion of how to facilitate some of planning commission's study items and requests to the council to either authorize staff to work on that or hold a joint meeting. I think we reached some consensus by the end, and in the near future, maybe once Planning Commission can have their next weekend, there might be a set of requests or recommendations from the Planning Commission for planning and land use matters for the City Council to take up or authorize or provide further direction. Perhaps consider holding a joint meeting to establish some priorities in some of the planning matters in the city. So overall, I think it was productive. It was good to have Ms. Peters there and the city manager and myself, and stand by for some more of a formal request from the Planning Commission on items for the City Council to take up or authorize.
Thank you. Thank you, Josh. Okay, how about from reports and communications from our city manager?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The RFP for the Howard Park parking design and improvements has gone out. So we'll see what comes in. Mr. Fabilia and Taylor has gotten off to a great start for the horse arena. I will ask them to come and do an update here in the next couple of meetings, but they are off to just a tremendous start. And I think you'll be happy to hear of all the things they've progressed here. With respect to commercial development, those type of activities, the staff has been working very hard on those things. I hope to have some announcements in the very near future regarding many things that I can't allude to now because again, that's all under discussion. But I do hope to announce and report some very significant and uplifting information here in the very near future. So more to come.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. Reports and communications, committee reports, future agenda items. Mr. Mitchell, would you like to start? Councilman
Yeah,
Mitchell?
I noticed I think on social media, there was some more chit chat about you, Mr. Mayor, and how you were appointed mayor or voted in as mayor, accusing this council of illegal activity or violating the Brown Act. That did not occur. I want you to know that it was when Stacy nominated Jody to be mayor, while it is not written in stone, so to speak, it is customary and been a custom here for a long time that the vice mayor moves into the mayor position. You spend a year as vice mayor kind of learning the ropes, and then you get the opportunity to become mayor. It's been that way forever. Well, almost. Then you got to me. Now, there wasn't a lot of outcry of any discussions going on. And I guess I'm right. There's two times it's occurred so I'm not solo. There is another occurrence somewhere way back that where it didn't work out that way, but the vice mayor typically always moves into the mayor's spot. There was no meetings, and I don't want to go any further, but I did want to mention that. So I hope you can put your mind at rest. I thought it was covered in the last meeting, but apparently there's still some folks that think there's weird stuff going on. So I hope that puts that to rest. And you've heard it from me. There were no violations of the offices or the oaths that we took. So I'll leave it at that. There's some big events coming up. They're doing some fundraising to put lights out at Howard Park for Little League. That is next Saturday. I am bartending. Should be a good party. Chief, back off. But come out, have a good time. Then you have the Rotary Crab Feed, which is their main fundraiser, and they have done a ton of different projects for Ione, and it's a great time. There'll be a photo. It's on February 14th. If you do not have tickets to the Ione Rotary Crab Feed, I would hope that you would get those. Come out, have a good time, and raise some funds for all the projects they do. And then after that, you also have the train depot. There's a lot of work to be done on the depot. We need to get a roof on that thing before it just disappears and we lose our history. I've given my word to the group that's managing that I will do everything I can to raise the funds, and it's going to be substantial. So I hope you will join me at their dinner in March. And then I hope you also will donate to that cause, and let's get the depot park done for our kids and save our history at the same time. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Councilmember Atlan.
Got a couple of things. Like to get an update on the police camera. It's $1,400 a month. We approved a 1-year lease. It's still going on. I asked about this in June of last year. I see it every month. I don't remember voting on continuing with that.
I think it was a 3-year lease.
Was it 3? Okay. If it was 3 years, it was 3 years. My mistake. Like to know if it's actually been helping at all. You know, I mean, if we caught any criminals or any vandalism or anything, because to just keep spending money on it, if it's not really helping us, we need to look at it. That's all. There's some lights on Ashworth Street that are out still, and I did send that into Public Works. So hopefully they can take a look at that. Like probably the train depot lease to be brought back for discussion, because one of the requirements for taking that lease was to put a roof on it, and now they're having fundraisers for a roof. So I thought that was the responsibility of the person taking the lease to do that. So like that looked at, and then I have 3 items to put on the agenda for next time, but they're closed session items, so I will get them to Mr. Lee. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Rhodes.
Briefly, I was at the Amador Air District Board of Directors meeting today. Patricia got up and spoke, saw her there. All that really happened there today was they had a change of the guard. Brown is now the chair, and Dan Epperson is a vice chair. And I'd add one more thing onto Jack. 3 years ago, when I was mayor, he was vice mayor. I appointed him to be mayor, and it got voted down. So I would not recommend do a public request on this. Just go back and look at the minutes of the meetings, maybe the last December for the last 4 or 5 years, and you can see what happened. So that's all I got to say.
Or watch TV, get a hobby, read the paper.
Amber Ledger Dispatch. Okay, I have just a couple comments on as far as agenda items, or when I say agenda items, what I'd like to see is I'd like to see us schedule some staff training, and we all know what staff training we need. I know our city manager does. It's very important. I'd like to get that going on that and keep it consistent. I know there's been a lot of concern, including from myself, about these electric bikes and the mini bikes around town. And I've talked with Chief Alfred, and I have no doubt Ione Police Department is enforcing this ordinance. There's already an ordinance there on mini bikes, electric bikes. So I see them doing their job. And Logan Wilkerson, I have to mention him also. 13-year-old young man. just, I followed him closely on Facebook. I kind of got to know his family on Facebook. Used to work with Lily. Mr. Allen worked with her too. Lily Stern worked at the golf course. Nice young lady, very good golfer. Actually, she's worked on a golf college scholarship playing golf. But great family, and I too, if you want to make donations or whatever, but support the family. And this is when this town comes together, and that's why it's so awesome. So that's all I have, and support all the fundraisers coming on. And I do have to ask Mr. Lee something.
Yes, if I can mention one more thing. I was fortunate enough to attend Mr. Gold's funeral service here recently. And I just wanted to say for all of you that know him, he is a prime example of what the community of Ione stands for. Over the years, he donated his time, effort throughout his whole life, his whole family. And he, again, is a prime example of what the community of Ione stands for. So again, when someone asks, hey, what does it mean to be a citizen in Ione? It means someone like him, because he gave his heart, he gave his soul, he's a person of integrity, and he just gave everything he could to the city. So again, he's a prime example of what the heart of Ione is. That's all I want to say.
Absolutely, an astounding, outstanding role model. Absolutely. So let's move down to, I guess we have no, I'm looking at the wrong thing.
You could make a motion to
I
adjourn.
think we make a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
First and second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, folks. Early night for